point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh. I thought you were the one for me, that's why I give you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas, oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me.
Road trips are long, so you're gonna need some essentials. Caffeine, snacks, ooh, doggy treats. And if it's a hot day, water is a must, as is deodorant. Fuel your road trip with Uber Eats. You can now get anything from restaurant food to grocery, alcohol, essentials, and more, delivered fast, reliably, and conveniently. Click now to order on the Uber Eats app. Not literally anything. Item availability varies by market. Alcohol in select cities only. 21 and older to purchase. See app for details.
Close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll I get that bass, the way she said it. Don't smoke in my face and I'ma let it stay the way it is. Yeah, hey now, I'm on my way, I'm on my way. I'm circling Murano, she look like she wanna. I'm on my way, I'm on my way. Tell me what you thought of. When you say that you need it. Show that you want me, yeah, yeah. I'm circling Murano, eating me alive, yeah. You want me to love you. When you say that you need it. Show that you want me, yeah, yeah. I'm circling Murano, eating me alive, yeah. You want me to love you. When you say that you need it. Circling Barana, eating me alive, yeah. You want me to love you. When you say that you need it, show that you want me, yeah, yeah. Circling Barana, eating me alive, yeah. You want me to love you. When you say that you need it. Circling Barana, eating me alive, yeah. You want me to love you. When you say that you need it. Take my eyes open to force
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are y'all doing today? Welcome back and happy Money Monday, ladies and gentlemen. It is June 13th, 2022. Woo, Money Monday. Once again, I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. Hope you guys are fired up, ready to rock and roll, ready to make it happen on this beautiful, once again, beautiful Money Monday team. Really quickly, as you guys know, I'm just readjusting some of my settings very quickly, just to give you a heads up. If I seem somewhat out of it. I am, and I'll explain why, just so you guys have a heads up to bear with me. But as you guys are hitting me with that big old good morning, let me make sure that we're all set, ready to rock and roll with audio. Make sure that we're not going to have any distortion. Make sure you guys can hear me loud and clear. And if I need to make any adjustments whatsoever, please let me know before we start our day. I want to make sure the audio is coming in great and you guys are all set, ready to rock and roll. If you were with me over on TikTok this morning, ladies and gentlemen, as you guys know, I'm a little cloudy today, a little foggy, a little out of it. I always like to give you a heads up on where I am so you're fully aware of what to expect for the day. But again, last Thursday and Friday, a little out of it, a little foggy. Allergies are kicking my butt. But I also decided to cold turkey this weekend and drop the nicotine. All right, so no more vapes, gum, packs, all that good stuff. I went ahead and made that decision to go ahead and cut it out, 100%. Cut it out 100%. So again, that's messing with me on top of the allergies. So again, just bear with me, guys. I'm still here. We're going to have some fun. We're going to get you guys educated. We're going to find those opportunities. We're going to lock in profits, right? Nothing's changing. The only thing that's changing is that vibe you guys get, that energy maybe, right? How hyped up I am, because again, I'm just a little out of it today. But again, we're not holding back on that education. We're not holding back on that value. We are not holding back on finding these opportunities to help you guys lock in some amazing profits today. All right, so we're going to make it happen. Crypto Cole, good morning. J Doss, Jakey Lakey, J Dub, J Doss again. Angel, what's up? Kids King, Steve, Stir, Placid, good morning, traders. It is 8:52. Again, June 13th on this beautiful Money Monday, and we're getting ready to dive into it here in a moment, team. And we're going to talk about where the best opportunity is for today. Where should you be looking? What are the top stocks that should have your attention, that should have your focus? All right, traders? So I want to make sure really quick before we dive into it, one last time, officially, mic check, mic check. Want to make sure it's coming in loud and clear. Want to make sure it doesn't sound distorted. Want to make sure we were all set, especially when I hit you with those good mornings. Want to make sure that we're good here, that you're not hurting your ears. They're not bleeding, okay? But we have plenty of time to dive into our day, to identify these top stocks, guys, to get you guys prepared to make it happen. And then once again, everybody over on YouTube this morning, good morning as well. Martin, how you doing? Good morning. Joey, good morning. Dingo, what's up? Good morning. Mr. Joey again. Good morning. One tall, cool one, Mr. Steve. All right, guys, looks like we're all set, ready to rock and roll. So let's go ahead and dive into it. What do we have going on for today? Well, let's go ahead and talk about just the broader market, right? What do we got going on this week? Well, this week, we do have the conclusion of the FOMC meeting, right? That's a 2-day meeting from June 14th to June 15th. That is going to be Wednesday, most likely at 2 to 2:30, before Mr. Jay Powell jumps on the mic and starts getting hammered with questions during that interview, and that's going to move the market, all right? So we do have our FOMC meeting Tuesday and Wednesday, with the conclusion being Wednesday, followed by that interview right around 2:30 on Wednesday. That's what we need to be waiting for. But we also have PPI data scheduled to be released on June 14th. So here tomorrow, June 14th, right around 8:30, we will have PPI data. So what did we see Friday? We had CPI data, guys. We had bad CPI data. And what did the markets do? The markets absolutely tanked. We have recession fears. We have, hey, CPI is going to be bad. We're expecting that. Boom, the markets move lower there on Thursday. We actually get that news. We get that data. Inflation's still on the rise, right? Even more challenging for the Fed to really get this soft landing. So again, there's so many things, team. We have PPI data coming on out. We'll have to see what that looks like. And then again, there is some talk right now. The Fed's going to have to be more aggressive, possibly with a 75 basis point rate hike. So the market's currently pricing all of this in, right? There's some rumor that the Fed may have to be aggressive at 75 basis points. Market's pricing that in. Market's pricing in the fact that we could see a total of 175 basis points plus by the end of September. The yield curve is inverting. The Fed has already telegraphed the 0.5 point rate hike, but now they're talking about maybe that 75 points increase could be on the table. The yield curve is inverting. The R word is starting to be used a little bit more. There's a lot of things right now that the markets are digesting, the markets are pricing in. I would say today, team, on the SPY and the Qs, I would expect, based on all of this data, based on what we have going on this week, based on what we saw last week, I would think we would see more sideways movement right around these 380s. Why? Well, we've already dumped on off the last 3 days from like 415 down to 380. We're sitting right at this daily level of support here on the SPY. We have PPI data coming out tomorrow. That's another very important piece of inflation data, the producer price index. So I think the markets have been actively pricing all of this data in. They've been pricing in the yield curve inversion. They've been pricing in, hey, recession probabilities, yeah, definitely a lot higher now. It's been pricing in there could be a 75 basis point increase now on the table. We've already priced in the data that we saw there on Friday. We've been actively pricing this in. What's next to come? Well, we have PPI data tomorrow. We have the Fed's actual decision. What are they going to be doing? And we'll find out Wednesday. So I do think the markets, more or less, would sit more sideways today, right? Right around this 379 to 380 level. Now, if we do indeed continue to crack, continue to fall, and we're not going to sit sideways, we do have room down to 372.81 on the SPY. So again, that's 372.81 here on the SPY. But like I said, we've already been actively pricing all of this information in. We have more information tomorrow and Wednesday, and that's when I think we'll start to see the markets move again as we price that in. So I would think a lot of this has been priced in. We would more or less sit sideways today because we have very important numbers coming tomorrow, and I think that's what's going to move the market once again based on what that data is. That's my expectations. That's how I'm approaching the market today, and I have my levels marked up. I have 385.30 resistance here on the SPY. I have between 379.80 and 380.70. So there's about a $1 window of support on the SPY. And then if we do crack below that pre-market low here of 379.81, I see potential for the SPY to fall down towards around 372.81 to 373. So I'm prepared. I have my levels marked up. Now you guys are prepared with your levels marked on up. You know what my expectations are for today. If you guys have any different expectations and what your thesis and your game plan is, share that with the team. All right. Is anyone else having any sound problems? Rob, yeah, go ahead, team, real quick before we continue to dive into it. Let's make sure that you guys are not having any sound problems and make sure that Rob is all set, ready to rock and roll. Sounds good. Yeah, just maybe a simple refresh, Rob. Make sure that your sound icon, right, is actually not slashed, like it's muted. Actually, make sure that you're not muted. Simple refresh every now and then will definitely fix that issue for you, buddy. All right. So again, if you guys have a different recommendation and you guys think that something else is going to play out today, you have a different mindset and a different approach on how you're going to navigate the market, please type that inside the chat. We're all here to look at that. We're all here to collaborate with one another and help one another. So definitely share that with your members and your team here inside of chat. But that's my recommendation, and that's kind of my 2 cents on where I think the market's headed and what I think the markets are going to do. And that really applies to the Qs as well, right? The same approach applies to the Qs, just different price levels. That's it. So again, FOMC meeting, PPI data, what we've been pricing in, everything that we just discussed on the SPY applies to the Qs. The only thing that's different is our levels, right? So right now, resistance is 285 here on the Qs, with support between this 278.90 and this 280 level. And then if we do start cracking below these pre-market lows, let's assume that the markets are going to drop today. We do have this nice gap that needs to be filled here on the Qs. That's down towards around 274.78. So we could see this as low as 274.78, and that would put you right around this trend line off these lows here on the Qs, right? So that could be coming right back down into this trend line before we find some kind of support and maybe see a little bit of a bounce. But I do expect to see more sideways movements. But if we do indeed start cracking and moving lower, we could see the Qs down at 274.78. And then we can see the SPY down towards around that 372.81 to 373 area. But like I said, I think the markets would remain flat leading up to the PPI data tomorrow morning. Okay, so again, if you guys have anything else that you want to throw in there, if you have a different 2 cents or a different approach, a different mindset, please let me know and let your team know as well. They'd be more than happy, or more than eager, I guess to say, more than eager to review that and compare what my mindset is and what my thesis is compared to yours as well. But let's go ahead and talk about small caps, right? If we're just looking at options, you guys are options traders primarily, you're looking at the SPY and the Qs, right? Primarily, you're going to be looking at the SPY and the Qs, maybe some of these inverse ETFs. Now, we do have some really nice action with small caps. We have some fantastic action with these penny stocks, guys. So at this point in time, I'm going to really be putting a lot of my focus with penny stocks. Right now, we have DAWN up 124%. We have BLUE up 53%. We have HILS up 37% at this point in time. So there's tons of potential. So what's going on with DAWN? Why is this stock up 124% at this point in time? Well, this morning, they actually say that their mid-stage trial of glioma drug achieves positive initial results and that they're going to be expanding further development as well. So we have this lower float stock, DAWN. It's 22 million in float. It's trading fantastic volume. They came out and said, hey, our drug is achieving positive initial results. And those results were positive and so good that we're going to be expanding development. That's why DAWN right now is ripping to the upside. One thing with DAWN, what did we say we were going to start doing on Friday? We said that every morning when we come in and we dissect our top penny stock gainers, everybody inside a chat is going to let us know, hey, is this an easy to borrow stock on your broker? So with TD Ameritrade, there was nothing to borrow. Here on Fidelity, it is actually a hard to borrow stock, but there are 1 million shares available to short. And then number 3, Lightspeed is easy to borrow. So for those of you that use Webull, is DAWN easy to borrow. For those of you using Interactive Brokers or TradeStation, is DAWN easy to borrow? And why does this matter? Why is this important? Well, here on Friday, we identified this stock was easy to borrow on a lot of mainstream brokers. What happens when you have a penny stock, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, $15? What happens when you have a lower float penny stock, easy to borrow, gapping up? Everybody wants to short it. It brings in a lot of inexperienced shorters. So what did we see on Friday with COGT? We saw this go on a nice little intraday short squeeze to the upside, 1089 from around $6. We could see the same exact thing with DAWN as this stock is easy to borrow on Lightspeed. It's tradable, shortable on Fidelity. Now I'm curious, what about your brokers? The other thing I noticed as well is 17.8% of the float is currently short. So let's make sure that's accurate. Let's go to DAWN and let's see if that's inaccurate. Shortable, but hard to borrow on Webull. So you have to pay a little bit extra, but it is shortable. So that means you can short it with a small little fee. Right here, we do have 30% team. 30%, according to Seeking Alpha, 30% of the float is currently short. Where do most of the short squeezes occur? 20 to 30%. So now we have 30% of this stock shorts. We do have a stock that can be shorted with a lot of mainstream brokers. It's easy to borrow on my end. We could see a nice little squeeze today, team. We are approaching our 200-day moving average on DAWN right there at 1592. That was one of my first levels of resistance and one of my final targets. We've already hit that level here in pre-market. So at this pace, we could absolutely start breaking that 200 SMA and going on our next little leg on up. One of our main targets today would be up towards around $20. But before $20, you're going to need to lock in some profits right around the 1722. There's going to be a little bit of resistance around 1722. And then some resistance up towards around $18.99. We can pretty much just call that $19. They're on DAWN. So right now, we do have some resistance, team, at your 200 SMA. That's $15.92. If we can break that 200-day moving average, we have potential to 1722. We have potential to 19. And then we have potential towards around $19.80 to $20. Okay, support at this point in time would be back down around $13.13. Now, that's going to be what we call light support, right? Just off that prior high. Light support here, right around $13.13. Again, we just need to see how the stock opens on up. It's a little overextended, in my opinion. We're going to be gapping up right under that 200 SMA, right? If we open right now at this point in time, we're actually gapping up right under this 200 SMA. I'm curious to see what happens. Are we going to get a washout long? If we see a washout long out of the gates, back down to 13.13, maybe there's some opportunity. Do we just get a gap and go? Is this stock just going to explode and squeeze to the upside like COGT did on Friday? We just need to sit back and wait and see what the stock does right at 9:30, but it's definitely one of my top stocks to be watching right out of the gate. And we do have potential all the way to $20 today on DAWN off really good news. The stock's easy to borrow on a lot of mainstream brokers. 30% of the float is currently shorts. There are so many separate reasons as why we want to be watching the stock to the long side today, guys. So DAWN, the number one stock that we should be watching, in my opinion, right out of the gates. Okay, next, we have BLUE. So BLUE this morning, FDA Advisory Committee backed Bluebird Bio's blood disorder gene therapy. So BLUE, we do have the FDA Advisory Committee backing their blood disorder gene therapy treatment here on BLUE. Now, this is a $70 million in float stock, so it's definitely going to take a little bit to get this going compared to, say, HILS, that's $4 million in float, compared to DAWN, that's $22 million in float. It's going to take a little bit more to get BLUE moving, but it's definitely something that can take on off. It can move a little bit. We have really nice volume, 6.8 million shares traded a day, on average 2.74. It's a $70 million in float stock. We have some good volume. It's up 64% at this point in time. It has pretty good news. All we're looking for is a break of the downtrend on BLUE. That's it, team. If we can start to break this downtrend, get back above that VWAP, we could see the stock up towards around 675. If we could ever start breaking above 675 here on BLUE, we could see the stock up towards around 750, 760, retesting that post-market high. If we ever see the stock breaking that 750 to 760, we have potential to $8. So I know right now it is down pretty decently from that post-market high, but we're not seeing it just dump on off. It's slowly and steadily pulling back. Very nice downtrend right around VWAP as well. So if we can start to see BLUE breaking this downtrend, breaking back above this VWAP, getting to the bullish side of the VWAP, showing some strength, going to the bullish side of the downtrend, showing some strength, and we can back this up with some volume. Hey, I definitely want to be watching BLUE back up to 675, 750 to 760, and then possibly $8 today on BLUE. Now, if we cannot break the VWAP here, and if we cannot break this downtrend and start to see some volume move back in and see this back up towards around, those 675, 760, so on and so forth, we do have room to fall back down towards around 525 here on BLUE. So that's going to be one of your best levels of support here on BLUE, is going to be back down towards around that 525. But if we start to break the downtrend in the VWAP here, let's see if that downtrend in that VWAP turns into support, and we know exactly where we could see the stock going. So BLUE as well, definitely a top stock to be watching right out of the gates today. RDBX, this stock is absolutely going bananas, guys. We already know what's going on with RDBX, right? Everybody's talking about it. Everybody wants to trade it. Everybody thinks that it's going to be the next AMC and the next GameStop. And I mean, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of shares shorted on this right now at this point in time. This is one of the highest stocks with the heaviest short percentage right now at this point in time. So it is the heaviest shorted stock in the stock market right now at this point in time. And we just saw this stock close at $13.20 on Friday. And we just hit highs of $18 today in pre-market. I mean, it's very simple. It's very clear. It's a hot stock, right? Heavy short percentage. Everybody's looking at it. Everybody's trading it. Everybody wants to trade it because they think it's going to be the next AMC and GameStop. So we're looking at it. We're getting prepared. We're getting that due diligence under our belt, right? Where could we see the stock go? And if we start to see that opportunity, we're absolutely trading RDBX. So that's why the stock is moving once again, team, okay? We do have support right around the 1636 on RDBX with top resistance at $18. If we ever start to see RDBX breaking 18 bucks, we could then see $20 and then $27.13, which is retesting that high from back here in October of last year, and it's actually 27.22. Okay, so right now we need to see this break above 18 bucks. We can start to see this breaking above 18. We have so much potential to 20. We start to see RDBX breaking 20. That's when things get really interesting, and that's when we could see a big time rip and a big time move up towards around 27.22. But first things first, we need to see this breaking 18 up to 20. There's great potential today. If we start to see RDBX cracking below this light level of support, we could see it back down towards around that $15 level here on RDBX. All right, guys. So let's just keep RDBX on watch for today, right around this 1631 light level of support with better support back down at 15 bucks. We do have top resistance at 18. And if we ever see RDBX breaking above 18, we could absolutely see this up towards around $20 today on RDBX. Definitely a top stock to watch. The rest of these stocks, team, are back burner plays, right? So number one, again, I just want to recap, DAWN, one of our top stocks to watch right out of the gate. BLUE, a top stock to watch right out of the gate. Same thing with RDBX. It is a top stock to watch right out of the gate. These other stocks are back burners. Okay, so HILS announcing up to a $1 million buyback program. It's a low float stock, trading good volume. If we start to see this stock on our high day momentum scanner, it's on our breakout scanner, it's on our halt and resume scanner, we know exactly why the stock's moving, announcing up to a $1 million buyback. Right? We have high relative volume already, and we have a nice low float stock. So it's a back burner. If we see the stock moving today, we'll shift our focus to it. We'll get prepared. We'll lock in some profits. We have 3 stocks already for the day. I'm not going to take too much time to dissect HILS because I do not want to dissect it, get you guys like, oh my gosh, this looks great, it looks good, and now you're justifying a trade when this is not the stock that has the best potential right at 9:30. But if we start to notice this stock has the best potential out of the gate, and we start to see traders merging and migrating from, say, DAWN or RDBX to HILS, we will then shift our focus to HILS as well, get prepared, see if there's any opportunity, and lock in some profits. So right now, back burner, HILS for today. HUSA is going to be a back burner today as well. If we ever start to see HUSA breaking this downtrend and $7, we could see HUSA go on its next leg up. So let's definitely be watching HUSA for the break of that downtrend and for the break of $7 as well. AERC. AERC has good potential. We had an attempted mid-candle breakout there. So we had the attempted mid-candle breakout on Thursday. Gave a lot back, but then we actually pushed, and we actually followed through there on Friday. So right now at this point in time, I would like to keep this on the back burner as well. Okay, if we ever start to see AERC breaking, I would say right around like 14 bucks, we can see $15. That's realistic. If we can start to break 14 and start to break like 14.20 on AERC, you can see a quick spike to 15.25. So it's a back burner at this point in time for the break over the 7th high, which was last Tuesday. So if we see AERC break back above Tuesday's spiking high, and that spiking high was right at 14.23, we could see this stock ripping on up towards around 15 to 15.25. A little bit of a back burner right now at this point in time. And then I'm going to be watching DBVT for the mid-candle breakouts. I want to watch the stock above 220. If we can stay above 220 today on DBVT, and we can see the stock breaking back above like 257, why 257? Well, that's the 200 SMA. We could see some volume return to DBVT, and we could see this mid-candle breakout play on out. So it's definitely a back burner. It's definitely a back burner because we are gapping down almost 50 cents. We're below the 200 SMA. We need to break that level first and foremost. If we cannot break that 200 SMA and we're struggling to break some of Friday's levels, such as the open and the close, it's probably not going to play on out, and we'll just simply take it off the watch list. But right now, it shows potential for a mid-candle breakout. It could definitely rip and run today. As to why I wanted to bring it to your attention, add it to your back burner watch list, get somewhat prepared, do some due diligence, and if we see the stock hitting a scanner, if we see the stock hitting, right, the high of the day momentum scanner, the breakout scanner, we see volume, and we see attention moving on in, we're prepared. We know why the stock would be moving, and we know exactly what to expect. So back burners, once again, we have DBVT. We have AERC on the back burner. We have HUSA on the back burner. We have HILS on the back burner. Top stocks to start our day right at 9:30. Number 1, RDBX. Number 2, BLUE. Number 3, DAWN. And once again, for those of you using another broker, if you guys use Charles Schwab, E-Trade, if you guys are using maybe Interactive Brokers or TradeStation, is DAWN shortable on your platform? All right. So as you guys and girls, the team inside of chat, maybe some traders over on YouTube, while you guys go ahead and let everybody know, hey, is DAWN easy to short or shortable on your broker? Let us know, yes or no, and let us know the broker that you use as well. We're just curious to see if that could bring in a lot of inexperienced shorts to where we would not want to short this. We would want to play it long like we did on COGT there on Friday. As I'm waiting for those messages to come in, I'm going to step out for just 2 minutes, use the restroom very, very quickly before we go ahead and start our day. We're going to make it happen, team. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to lock in some fantastic profits. So let's make it happen, traders. Let's get prepared. Let's get fired up. I'll be back in about 1 to 2 minutes. We'll finish dissecting our morning and getting you guys prepared. Uno momento.
Oh, you meant the world to me.
All right, we are all set, ready to rock and ready to roll. All right, guys. So, do we have any questions before the market opens? We have about 10 minutes. Here in a moment, we will go ahead and cast a little vote, a little bit of a poll here inside the chat. And see what you guys are thinking. DAWN is shortable on Fidelity, but not many shares available. Yes, right now I see 907,000 shares to short on Fidelity. DAWN, There we go. Fidelity, shortable, but with some interest. BLUE had huge news after hours on Friday. Yes, it did, and BLUE is a top stock that we'll be watching for today. So, Lambo Guy, appreciate it. DAWN team is shortable on Interactive Brokers. So, right now, we know that it's shortable on Webull. It's shortable on Interactive Brokers. It's shortable on Fidelity. So, we know that that may bring in some inexperienced shorters. Now, if it was shortable on TD, absolutely, because TD, everybody uses it. But Webull is another huge broker for brand new traders that never really have the availability to short. Now they can. So I would definitely be watching DAWN to the long side. And this fits our game plan, right? This fits, basically the breakdown on DAWN. 30% of the stock is currently short. It's still easy to borrow, which may bring in inexperienced traders that don't realize this stock is already a candidate for a short squeeze. They don't realize that this stock has really good news. They don't realize the stock's trading fantastic volume with a low float. Everybody wants to just jump into this and short this. I do think we could continue to see the stock squeeze on up, and that was basically our analysis on COGT Friday after I attempted the short. After I realized, oh, wow, if I would have known these things, I would have never shorted COGT. I would have went long. What am I not doing today on DAWN? I'm not looking to short the stock right now. All I'm doing is looking to go long. It meets some of that, well, almost all of the same criteria that COGT did on Friday, right? Easy to borrow on mainstream brokers, check. Had a short float percentage that was relatively high, check. Low float stock, check. And I said, hey, I'm going to short it at the 200 SMA because it's going to come back down. Well, guess what? If I didn't have all of that data and information in front of me, I would say, you know what, guys? I'm shorting this at the 200 SMA. But hold on. Wait a minute. Back up. What happened there on Friday? COGT, I didn't have that data. And I got squeezed out a little bit to the short side. I took a lot of heat. So what do I know to not do on DAWN? I know to not short this stock because the likelihood of an intraday squeeze still remains high. I'm only looking to play this to the long side. All right, so we have room all the way to 20 bucks today. We have room to 19. We could see 17.22, and right now we are hitting that 200 SMA. So depending on how we open on up, maybe we get a nice little washout long to get the day going. Maybe a little bit of a washout long off one of these prior highs to get our day going for a nice little entry, nice little break over those pre-market highs, and a nice little out-of-the-gate squeeze-a-rooski here. So we shall see. I think it's going to be more sideways on the SPY and the Qs. That would be my 2 cents. And the reason for that is we've actively been pricing in all of that data from Friday. We've been actively pricing in the rumor that the Fed may go with 75 basis points. We've been actively pricing in everything. So why do I think the markets are going to relatively be flat today? Well, we have PPI data tomorrow. So the markets right now are waiting for that PPI data to come on out. And depending on what that is, we'll see a reaction out of the market. So I would think you're still going to follow suit with the trend, and the trend's down. But I think it's going to be more choppy versus what you saw on Thursday and what you saw on Friday. That's just my 2 cents. So I would sit back out of the gates and just kind of look and see where the markets go. But I would think it would be choppy leading up to tomorrow's PPI data. And we pretty much nailed it last week. The market was a little bit on the choppier side leading up to Friday's CPI data. All right, let's go ahead and do this. We have 5 minutes until our day officially begins, ladies and gentlemen. So, what stock do you think will do the best today, traders? Do you think the number one stock today is going to be DAWN? Do you think the number one stock today is going to be BLUE? Do you think it's going to be RDBX? Do you think it's going to be a back burner? And what are our back burners for the day? Our back burners at this point in time is HILS, HUSA, AERC, DBVT. Do you think it's a back burner stock? Or do you think the focus and the opportunity today remains with the SPY and the Qs? So go ahead and cast your votes, ladies and gentlemen. If you are new to chat, super simple. Right up here at the top, what stock do you think will do the best today? Go ahead and click that. It's going to open up a nice little pop-up. What stock do you think will do the best today? If you are over on YouTube, go ahead and type that up inside of the message feed. What stock do you think is going to do the best today? Everybody inside of chat, go ahead and click that little pop-up right there. Go ahead and cast your votes, and let's see what the team is thinking. Yes, the VIX is at 33 almost, 33 at this point in time. And we know that options can be hard to trade when the VIX is above 30. So over on YouTube, we have RDBX, RDBX, RDBX. So everybody's saying RDBX. What about here inside of chat? Well, actually, we have a little bit of a tie at this point in time. So go ahead and cast those votes, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and break that tie. Let's get a clear understanding on where you think the best opportunity is for today. Right now, we have 12% of chat saying DAWN. 12% of chat, that's it. We have 31% of chat saying RDBX. We have 37% of chat saying the SPY and the Qs. So right now, kind of between RDBX, the SPY and the Qs. RDBX, the SPY and the Qs. I'm the loner, right? I'm out there with DAWN. I'm out here on DAWN. I think DAWN has great potential. Don't get me wrong. I think RDBX has great potential. I think BLUE has great potential. But really dissecting DAWN, that press release, that float, that volume, the fact that it's easy to borrow. 30% of this stock is currently shorted. 30% of the float is currently short. I think there's some great potential with DAWN, and we had a lot of biasness there on Friday with COGT. And COGT, I was just like, guys, I think this thing's hitting $10. I think this thing's going to 10. Hit 10.89. Right now with DAWN, I wouldn't be surprised if we hit $20 today, guys. So I'm going to be watching DAWN right out of the gates. But we do have a lot of traders looking at RDBX as their number one stock as well. And RDBX is starting to curl on up here right before the open. So let's definitely watch RDBX and let's watch DAWN as well as our top two stocks to start the day, guys. So if you have any final questions, comments, or concerns, now's the time to let me know. We have about 1 minute until that market opens, baby. So get fired up, get excited. Let's have an awesome day. Let's make it happen. Let's lock in some profits, and let's make this the best day of June so far, guys. Get fired up. Let's make it happen. Let's have an amazing day inside of chat. Let's have an amazing day inside of the market. Votes are in. What do we got right now? Still more traders in chat saying the SPY and the Qs. We got more traders in chat right now saying the SPY and the Qs. Typically, when the VIX is above 30, there's just more volatility in the market. And when there's more volatility in the market, sometimes these spreads become very bad, right? There's larger spreads. The option premiums are inflated. They're more expensive. Quite a few reasons. But normally when the VIX is above a 30, sometimes you notice those option premiums becoming inflated. And depending on how much volatility in the market, sometimes those spreads could be very large as well. All right. We are all set, ready to rock and ready to rumble. And we are live. So let's go ahead and make it happen. Let's have an awesome day, team. And let's get to it. The market is officially open. Once again, I'm watching DAWN here out of the gates. I'm going to go ahead and throw up RDBX off to the side here and see if RDBX is the number one stock that's really going to start ripping and running out of the gate. So let's go RDBX. RDBX pulling back pretty nicely here. I'm personally watching DAWN out of the gate. Coming right on down into that level of support here on DAWN. And I'm going to go ahead and get out of that. That was a very quick trade. Very, very, very quick trade. I did not have time to throw that P&L up. But right here, I noticed that we came right down into that 1445 level. I said, hey, we're coming right down into this level of support, right? Nice open, coming right down to that level of support. Prior resistance, new support, right around 1450. I jumped in with a very, very small position right at 1452. And I was scaling out at 1475 and 1462 for a quick little dip buy to start the day here. So full disclosure, I did have one trade on the day, and my one trade so far was DAWN for a quick little trade just right here off that pre-market resistance, right around that 1450, and we did get a nice little 20-cent bounce, give or take. And right now, there was your washout long, getting some great action here now on DAWN. DAWN is the number one stock to be watching right now at this point in time, traders. DAWN, number one stock to be watching right now at this point in time. If we start breaking that 16 area, do not be surprised if we start to see DAWN ripping up towards around 1722. The halt level right now on DAWN is... it's over 16. The halt level right now is over 16 on DAWN. So RDBX is trying to bounce here a little bit. It opened and just dumped on off. DAWN, quick drop, quick bounce, starting to roll on over again as well. How's BLUE doing? BLUE, not really doing too much. RDBX, not doing too much right now. HILS halted to the upside. Awesome stuff here. We got a low float stock. HILS out of the gate. Nice big rip into a halt, 145. So right now we have 145 resistance, which is the halt level. Where could we see this stock go on HILS? So assuming we do gap up out of the halt, let's say we do gap up, 150, 151. Let's say we get that washout into the halt level and we see the halt strategy. Where could we see it go? Well, I do see some resistance underneath this level of support, 171. And then I see $2. So right now, let's definitely be watching HILS. Maybe we get a decent little halt strategy to get us going here, guys. Some of the best support is all the way back down at $1. But if we can gap up, I would say maybe like 5 or 6 cents on HILS and see that wash out into this 145 halt level, and we can see it bounce there. Oh, I would take this long into the 170s. I'll be watching HILS out of the halt. It was halted at 9:33.16. We'll be live at 9:38.16. So we have just about 3 minutes to go here on HILS. Nothing with HUSA at this time. You do have AERC trying to get a little bit of action. But I would say right now, team, let's watch HILS here. And AERC off to the side. But right now I want to see what HILS does out of this halt. and see if we get that nice little push to 170 and then maybe $2. HILS, they did announce up to a $1 million buyback program. It is a low float stock, the lowest float stock on the leaderboard. And so far, a nice little 45-cent rip out of the gate. Get the day going. Let's see what we have coming on up here. So we should be live at 9:38:16. 9:33:16. So 9:38:16 should be our resumption time. So let's see what we have here on HILS. Where's our current bid? I got bids at $2 right now, guys. And I have an ask at 160. So right now, the way it looks, between 160 and $2, it would be your gap up. We don't want to see it that big. We don't want to see it that huge. We would like to see maybe 5 to 10 cents at most. So like a 150 to 155 gap up here on HILS. Crypto Cole in on the halt. HILS. Congratulations there, buddy. Nice work. Very good job. So we have about a minute to go. So right now, DAWN, you have room down towards around 13.13 team. Down towards around 13.13. BLUE needs to break this downtrend. RDBX has room down to $15. HUSA still pulling on back. AERC, not looking all that bad. Right now, AERC team is starting to get some action. If AERC starts breaking that 1423 team, don't be surprised when you see this stock back up towards around 15 and then 1525. So number one, you have AERC coming on up. Right now, looking like it wants to get some action. I'm watching HILS out of this halt. See if there's a nice little halt strategy. Right around this 145. Looking for about a 5 to 10 cent gap up on HILS. About a 5 to 10 cent gap up. A quick washout to the halt level. And then a bounce at 145. So 3, 2, 1. We're live at 150. No washout. So, yeah, no halt strategy for me. No fill on that initial halt strategy after that gap up. It's holding above 150 pretty decently here, though, guys. But what I want to see is the stock gap up out of the halt, come down to the penny. Where was the halt level? 145. Where was I looking to pull the trigger? 145. Where did we come down to? 148. So did I miss this by 3 cents? Yes, but I'm very, very particular, very particular on where I get my fills on these strategies because they are very, very risky. So your support level is back down at the halt level, team. So that 145 is going to be a decent little level of support. Now, right now, she's not slowing down. She's still breaking. She's still trying to rip on up. You can see $2 next on HILS. And I have 0 positions right now open, right? So I don't have anything open right now at this point in time. So as you guys can see, I had a quick little trade out of the gate with DAWN. That was something that happened very, very quickly. It was a quick in. It was a quick out. I did not get that trade on HILS. I did not have any other trade so far. The only trade I had was DAWN right there at that 1450 support as we were starting to get a little bit of that bounce. So right now, you are starting to push above this 171, 175 level. Your next target is going to be $2. But again, I can't buy it up here. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not buying it up here at 182. I wanted to be in close to the halt level. I don't want to be in at 180. I wanted to be in at 145. I can't buy this right here, right now. So as this is way too overextended, currently up 80% intraday, what do we have going on with RDBX? Anything here? Nothing. How about BLUE? Still fading and falling. How about DAWN? DAWN? Sure, yeah. If we ever see this set up for a break of this downtrend, that could bring in some action. Again, we do not chase stocks at high a day. But AERC still doesn't look terrible. So you want to see AERC, team, if this is going to continue to rock and roll and continue to rip on up right here, right now. You guys are long on this for any reason. If you guys are already in this stock, if you guys are like, Josh, what can I expect? You want to see it stay above 1280. Underneath that blue line, that's your 90 MA. You want to see it hold above that VWAP as well. That's right around 1280. So definitely keep AERC on watch here above 1280. You do have a slight flag formation as well. So you got a little bit of this flag formation on AERC. Right now, it's looking to get that next leg up. As long as you hold above 1280 and don't start dumping on off, you absolutely have potential up to that 1423 level. So let's see what AERC is going to do here. Is AERC going to dump on down? Or is AERC going to hold on up here and get that nice little pop to the upside off this slight bull flag? Right now, not really looking like a flag anymore. On that green candle right there, you're like, yeah, you kind of got a little bit of that flag. And then it's like, I don't know. But it's still trying, guys. It's still trying. Looks like it may want it here. You have room to 1423. 1423 on AERC. AERC just stalled. AERC just stalled, and you have no orders coming in whatsoever on AERC. That's definitely not what you want to see there. If this thing's going to break, you want to see it go ahead and start to get that nice little break, that nice little rip and run. If it's going to bounce off that 9 EMA, guys, we could see this back up at high a day. So I'm taking a little bit of a trade here. Nice tight stops, looking to see if we can indeed get that break out of that flag back up to that 1375. And let's see if we can hit that 1425 next. Right now, my cost basis is 1318 at this point in time. 1318 is my cost basis. Right for the break of that downtrend off the 9 EMA and off the VWAP. Let's see if we can continue to break on out here. 1318 is my cost basis. Want to see this up at 1374. Want to see it break 1374. We have room to 1425. I think we're going to get a break coming on up. Right now, it looks pretty decent. 1341. I got my finger on the trigger, guys. Finger on the trigger. Here, I can come over here, click the button real quick, back over to the trigger. Fantastic. That was good. That was fast. Let's get the high day. There's high a day. 1425 next. I got to start scaling out a little bit more right here at high day, though. I got to be smart. Let's go ahead and take 150 off the table. Let's take 150 off the table. We got 450 left here on AERC. Looking at that 1425 break. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. That's what we call a trade, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, I'm still holding about 300 shares at this point in time. This stock is getting very crazy. It is very volatile. It just ripped over $1.60 to the upside. It is really picking on up here now, team. Right now, my finger's on the trigger. I'm watching this level too. We do have room to $15, but I may start locking in more profits if we start dropping back below $14 here. Okay, there's 1430. If we break 1460, let's say hello to $15. Where's our halt level right now? There we go, 1470 new high day. This thing is squeezing. Let's go ahead and lock in a little bit more, guys. I'm going to be smart here. I was not expecting that big of a break. That was a base hit trade that turned into a very nice trade, right? I was not expecting that whatsoever. I was expecting maybe 50 cents of reward with that 20 cents of risk. This thing just ripped over $1.60 to the upside very quickly. I was not expecting that whatsoever. But nice little flag, nice little break off that VWAP, off that 9 EMA. Fantastic. I'm still holding 150 shares just to see what we're going to do next. But honestly, I'm just going to go ahead and get out of this. I'm just going to go ahead and get out. I'm out. I'm 100% out. So I do want everybody to understand why I took that trade, why I jumped in, why we were looking at AERC versus DAWN, right? DAWN is fading, right? Why are we looking at AERC over BLUE? Well, BLUE is fading. RDBX is fading. HILS, we missed the halt strategy. It's very overextended. It's way too overextended, right? So we know this is due for a pullback. We're not buying it at 182. It's going to start pulling back. But then we see AERC. We say, all right, it's holding above 1280, right? What's so significant about 1279, 1280? Well, number one, you have VWAP support. We said, hey, if it holds above the VWAP, it looks good. Hey, and you have this blue line. That's your 9 EMA, right? And at this point in time, it looks like a good flag. This candle, not really crazy about it, but then it starts turning green, and we're bouncing off the VWAP. We're bouncing off the 9 EMA, and it looks like a very clean flag. I'm like, well, this is starting to look good. I'm jumping in. I'm long. So I'm getting in here right before this break. My cost basis was 13.18. So I was getting in as we were discussing it. This happened very quickly, very fast. But again, I want you guys to understand why we were taking this trade. Number one, you had a bull flag. Bull flags are intended to break to the upside. You throw a nice little downtrend here. You got this nice rip on up, this period of consolidation. You start breaking out of the consolidation above the downtrend. You get that next leg up. Not only was there a really nice bull flag here on AERC, we see it came down to the VWAP and the 9 EMA, and it bounced. Down to the VWAP and the 9 EMA, it bounced. Down to the VWAP and the 9 EMA, it bounced. So now we have the VWAP and the 9 EMA holding this up as support with this bull flag, with so much great potential for this stock to break up to that $14.23, $15 level. So at that point in time, we noticed this very nice setup. We noticed the stock was bouncing off those two levels of support. We see the breakout of that consolidation. I'm more than willing to jump on in here. Stops right underneath that 1280 for that rip on up. Now, again, I know this happened very, very quickly. I didn't expect to see it happen that quickly. It happened so quick that we were just managing that trade. If you guys missed it, it happened quick. I get it. You may have missed the trade. But I want you to understand why we were taking that trade in the first place. Nice big rip on up. Period of consolidation. This is a bull flag. And you have the 9 EMA and the VWAP to hold this up as support with this bull flag. Beautiful break of the downtrend. We see volume increasing. It was already a stock on our watch list for the day. Low risk underneath these two levels of support with pretty good reward up to that $14.23 and then $15 level. So what was my risk? Maybe like 20 cents back below 13 bucks. What was my reward? It was that 14.23. What's 14.23? That was last Tuesday's high a day. When we talked about the stock this morning, what did we say was going to be a level of resistance? We said 14.23 and then $15. So I knew that we had over $1 potential to the upside, and I was not risking more than 50 cents on the trade. If anything, maybe about 20 cents on the trade. Really good setup. It clicked. It made sense. I pulled the trigger. We were able to lock in a couple of bucks here. So if that trade doesn't make sense, if you guys are still like, I'm not really getting it, I don't really understand, it's not really clicking, I will be more than happy to break it down once again. But my job is to make sure that everybody inside a chat fully understands the trades that we're taking, the reason behind the trades, so you understand, hell, okay, I get it. It was a bull flag. It met that criteria of a bull flag. It was holding those levels of support. I see where he was making his entries, why he was making his entries. I see why his stop was where his stop was. I see why his target was where his target was. It's making sense. It's clicking. I want you guys to learn and understand why we're taking the trades, not just, oh, we took a trade, we locked in some profits here, okay? So if you guys do not understand the trade, I'll be more than happy to break it down once again. But if you do understand it, perfect. Next time you see something similar, you know exactly what to expect, you know exactly how to trade it, and you know how to trade self-sufficiently to lock in some great profits. All right, so since I was in that trade, that was right around 9:45. Ladies and gentlemen, over on YouTube, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. All right, we're going to go ahead and shut down that stream. I hope you guys had some fun this morning. Right? Maybe you guys got a quick win, locked in a couple bucks. If not, you guys got prepared for the day. Maybe some education, right? Definitely some education, some live trades, some value. You're walking away knowledgeable, right? So I hope you enjoyed today's session. Enjoy the rest of your day. Trade smart, trade safe, everybody over on YouTube. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow morning as we do this all over again right around 8:45. So take care and enjoy the rest of your day, guys. So as long as AERC, right, as long as AERC holds this 9 EMA, you're still in play here, okay? As long as AERC holds above your 9 EMA, you're okay. Now, that's on a 1 minute. Now, obviously, if we're trading momentum and we're trading stocks, longer time frame or longer time trades, right? 30 minutes, an hour, you're looking for those scale in, scale out potentials. You'd want to be looking at this on like a 5-minute time frame to really utilize that 9 EMA and to utilize it with more confidence, because it could definitely chop you out here on a 1-minute time frame. So just go ahead and throw that out there. At this point in time on your 1-minute time frame, you can use that 9 EMA as a moving level of support because we've consistently seen this 9 EMA hold the stock up as support. But just go ahead and understand that you're better off, applying a 9 EMA, right, to continue to look to trade that stock, or as far as momentum goes, that moving level of support on those higher time frames. 15-minute, 5-minute, the 1 minute, it's definitely choppy, but we can see it's consistent. We can see it's playing on out. We can see it's being validated at this point in time. That 9 EMA is your moving level of support. And you just see another fantastic trade here, guys. Bull flag, breakout. Nice pullback to that 9 EMA, bounce. Nice higher low, nice rip. That was a quick ascending triangle breakout. This stock is working out beautifully. This stock is very simple to trade. Let's wait for that next best opportunity and let's make it happen. But right now at this point in time, AERC is our number one stock to be watching at this point in time. HILS could still have great potential, but right now, AERC is the number one stock that everybody should be watching at this point in time.